Okay. How do I? Let me try it.
We are live.
Make sure. Yeah.
Is it so? It's automatically recording.
Yes. And at the end, we'll have it on YouTube.
Sweet.
Okay. Cool. Here's the link. Take it. Boom. All right.
All right. Let me. Okay.
So should I just share my screen, or what do you think the best way to do this is?
Yeah, I think just share a terminal, and you have your key and all that stuff.
I deleted my instance. So I figured we could do that as part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll share my whole screen for now, and then we can just switch to terminal later. Or I guess I'll pick a browser. Might be easier. All right. Cool.
So, and is there a way to see like how many people are on the live stream?
It says 0 viewers down here on the right. I don't know if that's hasn't updated or
we
what.
just have to wait a couple of minutes for people to get set up.
Maybe we did something wrong. I feel like at least one person should be watching.
I know a friend of mine was going to watch. Let me just ping him and ask.
Oh, we have 2 viewers now. Sweet.
Sweet.
So it is working. All right. Well, I guess we can just start and then we can post the video later.
Okay. So let's see. All right. So we're going to create a new droplet.
Well, do you want to explain what we're going to do first?
I guess that's a good do an intro. So you asked me for how to get started with Chef, wanting to host some Ruby applications on a single server. And I said, well, I've used Chef before. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in it. So, it'd be fun to kind of stumble through it together, and then we could live stream it. So I think the goal is to set up a brand new Linux server, Nginx, Redis, Ruby, to host some Sinatra applications.
Sounds good.
All right. Oh, cool. I'm getting some feedback on Twitter. Everything looks good.
Great. Awesome. All right.
Okay. So brand new DigitalOcean droplet.
Cheap one, I guess. It's probably all the same. Yeah.
I think so. I think you could do all of this for 512 megs.
Sure.
And then for the image, I typically use Ubuntu, but
do you want to try?
Yeah, we'll try CentOS, and then
do I need any of this stuff?
Why
not?
Well, so you cannot turn on backups later. So if you're going to tear down this machine and do it again after we're done, I would say even still enable backups always, just because it's annoying to do it later.
Cool.
I think everything else is fine. And then click on your MacBook Pro for your key.
That's. I'm on a different computer anyway. Let me.
Okay.
Darn it. Let me stop screen sharing for a second and have my key. All right. Cool.
You know what you need to do is just like cat the key, pipe it into PB copy so that you can't see it.
Oh, there you go. Well, I was going to paste it into the website.
Oh, that too.
Cool. All right.
Okay, so while that's happening on your terminal, your local machine, let's install Chef and some of the gems we'll need.
Let's see. Screenshot. I'll just share my whole screen. Infinity. All right. So install Chef.
I don't see anything at the moment.
Oh, sent to everyone. Yeah.
Nothing yet.
Hmm.
Maybe stop it and start it again.
Oh, it is like a huge iMac screen. I'll just share my terminal.
Okay, perfect.
All right, cool.
Okay, so we're going to use Chef Solo.
Okay.
Part of the reason is because it's a little bit simpler to get your head around. And you can use Chef Solo on like lots of servers. I guess the difference between hosted Chef and Chef Solo is you could sort of store all of your the information about each node, like what servers should be running what versions of which packages and which users should be on the machines and stuff like that would be in a central repository that is like on a server somewhere. For I think for a small amount of servers, you can get that functionality for free from Get Chef, or what is it, chef.io, the Opscode Chef site. And then Chef Solo, you sort of have to supply each machine with its own attributes, like somehow. And so the way I've done this in the past is just like with AWS, I would like launch with some instance data that describes all that node's attributes, and then it would clone the Git repository for all of its cookbooks.
Okay.
So I think that's probably the easiest way, is it just clones the Git repository and runs it. And then you would just manually add a file on the server which describes what to install. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and install that. Let's see, it may just be Chef.
What is it?
I think it's just Chef.
Okay.
And then to manage like cookbooks and cookbook dependencies, we're going to use something called Berk-shelf. B-E-R-K shelf. And I've never used this before, but it's just sort of been something I've looked at in the past, and it looks like it'd be better for pulling in third-party cookbooks. And it also lets you create a new cookbook with some opinionated structure.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah, in the past I've like messed with Chef just a little, and it was like, how do I even? Because all the tutorials and stuff conflict.
They do.
Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
So someone like make a decision. This is great.
Yeah, seriously. I've watched a lot of, or read a lot of the Chef tutorials, and I pick up things here and there. And then there was a really good presentation at one of the Chef comps, and this guy, Riot Games is like a big Chef contributor, and they host like online games using Chef to manage their infrastructure. And one of the guys there, I forget his name, Jamie Windsor, maybe. Gave like a really good talk about sort of opinionated Chef, and I liked it. I would have liked to see the version 2 of that talk, which like goes into detail, like showing you code and that sort of thing. But anyway, so basically, we're going to create a cookbook that's your cookbook. It's going to be like I don't know, Ruby server or whatever we want to call it. That sort of describes what we're doing. And then that cookbook will have dependencies on other cookbooks like Redis.
That makes sense.
Man,
my iMac fans are going nuts. It's like a 40 Hz i7. It's like a pretty beefy machine.
I don't know what dep selector libge code is.
Or how it could have so much C code inside of it. Whatever. There we go. Oh, all right.
So many gems, man. This is one of the things I get frustrated with. Like, you're like, oh, brand new machine, let's install Chef, and it's like 50 gems.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you using RubyInv or RBInv?
RBInv.
So do you need to rehash to get your
No, I'm good.
binaries? Okay. Okay.
There's a plugin install to auto rehash.
Oh, cool. So are you in a folder for your project?
So I was just gonna do like server and do everything in here.
Okay. So
like
let's.
one repository that's managing like all the chef stuff, since it's gonna have like multiple websites inside of it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say type Burke's Burke's cookbook server.
Okay, I see.
Burke's space cookbook. No. I think. Actually, no. I think you're right. Let's try this. I forget if it creates the folder for you. Yeah, it looks like it does. Okay, so if you want to open that up in your editor, and we will see like sort of the folder structure.
Wish it was easier to switch between.
Yeah.
Which anyway.
Okay, so let's look at metadata.rb. So every cookbook has to have this, and it describes like what version it is and who maintains it and all that stuff. It's kind of like a gem file or a gem spec.
Cool.
And this will also tell you which resources or which cookbooks you depend on. Okay. So every cookbook is made up of recipes. And so this cookbook, if you open up the recipes folder, you've got a default recipe.
Okay.
And it's doing nothing. So one of the things we might want to do is like add a user to the machine. So let's see, how do I start with there's like a billion concepts you need to know. Everything we type in there, instead of being like a script, it's going to be a resource, like a chef resource. And that resource, there's documentation for all the different resources. So one of those resources is called user. And so we can type user space quote, and then the user you want. So maybe this is like Sam or an admin or something like that. And then pass a block to that. So do, and no variable. And then inside of here is all the different things you want for that user. So if you wanted to be like like have bash for the shell, then you can type shell bin bash as a string.
Interesting. Okay.
Slash bin bash.
Oh yeah, cool.
And then you probably want that user to be an admin, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Is there any like default admin group on CentOS?
I think there's like an admin group. I'm not totally sure. We can SSH and find out, I guess.
Yeah, let's try that real quick.
All right. Where's the IP? Maybe I'm just gonna change my resolution to be not huge, and then maybe that'll be better. Oh, this is painful. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Yeah, that'll be better.
Okay. How do you list groups? Do you know?
Just cat Etsy group.
Yeah. No, I don't know. We can make one. We should probably make one.
Okay. Yeah. So let's do right above the group to, right above user to group admin. And I'm trying to look up what I've done in the past for this.
You probably have like sudo rights, right?
Yeah. So let's go. This would be a good thing to do. Like look at the documentation for, and you can just basically type chef group resource or chef user resource, and it'll go straight there. Yep. And so it shows you the different attributes you can have.
I guess one of the things I know about Chef that's probably important to mention is like everything can run a bunch of times. So it's gonna like if the group doesn't exist, it's gonna create it. Otherwise, it's gonna like modify the attributes to match like what you've passed.
Yep. It's all idempotent.
Which is awesome. So
okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything built in for enabling sudo because it's going to be specific to distro, I think.
that makes sense.
Um,
There's probably like some other cookbook you can have or something to, I don't know.
yeah, so I think I used one. Let me find out the one I used.
Not a big deal. I mean, I guess.
Okay, yes. So there is one called sudo, a cookbook called sudo from Opscode.
Okay. Do you want to
Let me just
do that now
find that real
in
quick.
the metadata?
Let's just start off with this because you'll have a group with a user and you could log in. That's enough to like make sure we can run Chef, you know?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to, let's see, we need to let's just add a node.json file to the root of this cookbook. And this file will look like, hang on one sec. I'm just looking up mine because I can never remember what these things look like. So a node is like a server.
Okay.
So you're going to have a key called run_list. And that's going to be an array. And that's going to define what recipes and cookbooks this and or roles this is going to run. Okay. So you need to specify the cookbook name. So it's just going to be server.
Okay, I see.
If you want to run a specific recipe inside of server or any other one, you'll do : with the recipe name, and then you have to specify. This is really stupid. Inside the quotes, recipe open bracket with the recipe name, fully qualified.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it'd be like recipe open bracket server : default. Now that's the same as just running the cookbook server.
The default recipe is.
Yes, just like that. So we can leave that. I think you need a name. Maybe you need a name. Let's start with no name because I'm not sure if you need that or not.
Great. Okay.
Okay, so because we only have one, we can just check this guy in. But if you had multiple servers, then you would want that to be unique per server.
Sure.
All right. So you're logged into the other server?
Yes.
Ready? Okay. Let's see. There's a.
Should I just put this on GitHub and then clone it? Or I guess the server doesn't have Git necessarily. I could wget.
Yeah.
The zip
so
file.
There's going to be a Chef. What's it called?
Can you like push it or something to the server?
Install Chef. Yeah, there's like a Chef client. I'm finding the link for you. What flavor of Unix is or Linux is CentOS?
Ubuntu, I think.
Is it?
Or sorry, Debian, because Ubuntu's Debian as well.
So there's like it's a Red Hat, right?
Yes.
Is that like? Okay, go to chef.io/chef/install. So there's like, you could install Ruby and install Git and install this other crap. Or you can just like select this one, but I'm not sure which one you want in there. Like, I don't know what Enterprise Linux is. They're all basically the same command. Yeah, we don't want Chef server. You might just try that because basically most of these are the same command.
Okay, we'll just say enterprise.
Yeah. So
So
it's like curl-l chef install.sh.
do we have I guess it's. Is this the right version? How do we?
Yeah. If you do the curl command, it'll install the latest version, or you can just like download the RPM and install it that way.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So this is called like the Chef Omnibus installer because it'll install all the prerequisites for installing Chef.
Cool. Okay. Thanks
So
for
now you should have a Chef-Solo. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now we need a way to clone this repo. So
I'll just use GitHub. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hey there, private repositories.
Just quick aside, you made that public, so don't add any keys to it.
Yeah, good call. Just totally fine to make it public. I just want to.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the best practice anyway. Adding keys makes it incredibly hard to share things.
Right. So where should I clone this?
I usually have like a var chef folder.
Okay. All right, I guess I can. Should I do this as sudo though?
And then git clone server.
Right. I feel like I shouldn't do this as root though, right?
I mean, you're going to need to. I don't think it matters. You could eventually make this the admin group. You know what I mean?
Right.
Group or however you pronounce that command.
Cool. All right. Then unzip. Ah, damn. How do you get the?
Wait.
Do you remember offhand?
Wait, what happened?
So I don't have unzip or git.
Well, let's install git core because you're going to need that anyway.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Perl. Whatever you want.
So if people chat, can we see that in the group chat?
I think so. Is anyone saying things?
Nobody's saying anything. So
Is anyone still watching?
I don't know. How do I see that? I don't think I can.
Let me look. 7 viewers.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
And I think it's going to be
weird. It doesn't show me.
It is weird. It would say like here, I think, on the event page. But whatever. All right. Darn it.
Okay,
cool.
so you have a chef folder in there now?
Yes.
Okay. And ls. What's that cache folder in? That's weird. Oh, that must be a chef. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. We can put it wherever we want to, but what is server then?
But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, blow it away and do it again. So just do git clone space chef. Perfect.
All right.
Okay. So now we can run chef solo and pass it the configuration file and the node JSON and all that. So run chef-solo -c, and then there's like going to be a solo.rb that we need to add. And I think, let's see, chef solo.rb example. Okay. Create a new file called solo.rb. And we need to tell it where its cookbook files are and the JSON attributes file are. So it's going to be cookbook underscore path, file.expand path.
That works too.
And then it'll be / cookbooks with under file under.
Oh, yeah.
The second arg. And then the same thing for JSON attributes. And that's going to be node.json. So you can put it wherever you want. And then if you ever had encrypted, like if you wanted to pass in sensitive data, like what your password should be or whatever, then you'd have an encrypted data bag secret. And you need to tell it where to find that also.
Got it.
So like on the servers that I've set up in the past, the AWS image already has the secret on it in a special place. And we just have a reference to that here.
Oh, like you'd set up with AWS, like in their thing.
Yeah, so I like set up a base machine, captured a snapshot of that. And then when I spun up a new machine, I could just guarantee that that key was already on the machine. So that way I don't have to check in the key.
Nice.
Be stupid.
Cool. Okay.
And then, so what that allows me to do is on the client, because I have the key, I can add a password or an API key for some service. It would be encrypted, and then I could check that in as an encrypted data bag. And then on the server, it can decrypt them.
Got it. We'll have to that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have solo.rb on the server.
Okay, so now we can do chef solo-c solo.rb. Hit enter. And what does it say? Cookbook server not found.
Oh, should it be like?
Let's see. Is metadata.rb have the name server proper? Yeah, that seems fine.
But we said it's in cookbooks. Which
and then this one.
Just this folder, right? Or should we make a cookbooks folder and then put the server folder in that?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I think the cookbook path is, yeah, that's annoying. So what I think has happened before, or like some of the advice I've heard before is like you have a place to check out your files, and then everything becomes a cookbook dependency of one master cookbook. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but should we do like that and then move?
Yeah, we could try that.
You think it's better?
It may complain. Berkshelf wants to manage a cookbook at the root, so it may complain there, but let's try this and see if it works.
Oh. Did I put those? Oh, I bet there's a git ignore for cookbooks.
So Berkshelf doesn't want you to check in cookbooks ever.
Okay, so we should do something different, I guess.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me
Do we need to like Berkshelf install this cookbook or something?
No, you would only do that. So that metadata is the same thing as calling gem spec inside of a gem file.
Got it. Okay.
And so you would have other cookbooks there that you would want to install, and it's going to put them into that cookbooks folder, which is why it's ignored.
Well, we didn't run that anywhere. So on the server, it's not running Berkshelf, right? So we need to run Berkshelf before we run Chef Solo.
That's a good question. Eventually we would have to, right? But I don't think we have to now because there's.
But like, so the server's looking for like /cookbooks in this directory, and there's not cookbooks directory. So that's why it's complaining. So how do we remedy that?
We could check that. We could set the cookbook path. Let me look up the documentation for that solo.rb. So this is the documentation says it's a subdirectory for cookbooks on the Chef client. This can be a string or an array of file system locations. So why don't we just put the current path and the cookbooks path in there as an array?
Probably a better way to do that, but
I think you can just use file dot base name. File dot base name file. I don't think that works on string, does it?
oh, I see.
Yeah, let's try that.
Just see real quick. That should work. I think. Or we can just. Is it a dir name then? Or-
Let me look. File dot base name.
Well, we tried that, right? No.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the docs. File dot base name is here.
That works.
Okay.
Right. Whatever. Gross.
Oh, interesting. On the Berkshelf documentation page, it says the chef solo provisioner's cookbook path attribute is hijacked when using the Vagrant Berkshelf plugin. Oh, that's for Vagrant. Never mind.
Should we run Burks install?
So we don't have anything to install though. You could run it. I don't think it'll do anything locally because it's going to like grab the index.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can try that.
Still not. I can't find. Okay. I'm looking at an example that uses this.
Burks package. What does that do?
So this guy created a cookbook. He's using. Can you try and delete that cookbook path? No, that won't do anything. Never mind.
Hmm. Should we try? It says this is part of Chef DK. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, is this? I get so freaking frustrated with the chef community sometimes because it's like, here's yet another thing that you might want to use.
Right.
Um,
Like solo and server is enough. Like, do we need a third?
yeah. Well, so there's Berkshelf and there was also Librarian Chef, which are two competing ideas for the same thing. I don't know which the community prefers, but it looks like the Chef DK makes it seem like they prefer Berkshelf.
Indeed.
And then there's Test Kitchen if you want to test your cookbooks, like with Vagrant, like it'll spin them up, test them, and then you can run asserts on the state of the VM.
Crazy. That's cool.
Which honestly, once you get it set up, would have like a faster feedback cycle.
Right.
It really kind of sucks to log in, clone, or rather pull, and run it every time. Can you try changing the run list in node.json to be the more expanded version, the recipe server : default? Let's see if we got a different error message there.
Better?
Yeah.
You guys edit it on the server, or a second?
You can do it on the server only if you want.
Oh, we're not going to have any text editors. All right. Same thing. Cookbook server not found.
Yeah, when I did this in the past, I had a cookbooks folder. But because we're in a cookbook, this becomes a little bit more difficult. Let's do this. Can you create another repo? Actually, sorry. Let's do this straight on the server because I think we could try this out.
Okay.
Let me think. Because I think what we would need to do is like have our
like our server cookbook is separate from our server configuration.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that's like what they're getting at with the best practice thing is like you don't have a cookbook that has other cookbooks in it. You just use dependencies. So if we do that, then our solo.rb and our node.json just get moved out into somewhere else. They could just be raw files on the server, I guess. But we need to tell it where our cookbooks are.
Okay.
And then
Well,
I'm just thinking out
let's
loud.
let's make like a server cookbook as well. Like
You mean a server repo?
Yeah. And then, well, that sucks because now we need some way to like clone the server cookbook into.
Well, I think you would do that with Berkshelf, but
So does Berkshelf come into here?
The Berks file?
Yeah.
Like copy the Berks file over. And then that guy would we'd change that to it would be like just like Ruby Gems. It'd be like cookbook server with a Git URL.
Yeah.
Did you rename it on GitHub?
I will. But we're never running. We're never running Berkshelf on the server, though. I guess.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. By the way, the name Burkshelf is inspired by this image.
Where-
On the Hangout chat.
Amazing. Cool. So
Okay. Okay, so I don't think we need to do that.
okay.
So there's a way to vendor books,
All that.
vendor cookbooks into your project. So you're going to want to unignore.
Well, that kind of sucks though, right? Because I have to like check all that stuff in.
You could run it on the server if you want.
I guess it's better to do locally. We'll do that.
So you would just do like, you would have to say like Burks install on the server before running.
That sucks. All right, we'll do it this way.
So let's edit the ignore to unignore the cookbooks folder.
Crap. Hold on.
Okay, so, and I'm looking just a different example. This guy had a root repository with a chef subfolder in it, which contained his custom cookbook, which I think is basically what we're doing here.
You want to do that?
You could treat cookbooks as a, let's see, which, are you in the right file?
This is solo. So yeah, and they vendored into here, into Burke's cookbooks. So I renamed it in the solo.
Oh, okay. There's another way to do the same thing. Let me see if it's like Burks install -- save. So if you wanted to put them into the cookbooks folder, you could do save space cookbooks.
Vendor's fine. We can just change the URL. Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't gonna help us with the current path problem, right?
Yes. I think though, I still think it might be nice to move everything. I don't know. Because it has like the Burke's cookbook server has like Node and Solo in it, and it probably shouldn't. Maybe it's fine.
Oh, sorry. I was looking. Yeah. Yeah. It should not have those in there.
Yeah. So I feel like we need another folder somewhere.
What folder are you in right now? The server cookbook repo should just have a cookbook in it. It shouldn't have Burke's cookbooks.
Well, remember we decided to revert that and use vendor. So I deleted the other stuff.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So this is our old server repository. I just put the other stuff back into it.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I was reading when you did that.
So what do you want to change that back?
No. If we were to move everything inside of this into a cookbooks folder, like basically you would just move attributes, files, libraries, providers, recipes, resources, and templates into cookbooks server.
So then I guess we can move Node and
So you would need metadata in there, and node and solo go back out to the root.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that.
But then should our Burks file move out and then have like a relative path instead of just metadata?
What's in the Burks file right now?
So do like cookbook server and then give it a path?
Let me think. So it depends on if we're gonna vendor everything, then we don't really need this file, right? Because we would use it locally, but not on the server.
Right.
So you can't. So you don't want to do that. I think you need to like leave it the way it is for the moment.
Okay.
So then at this point we'd have the cookbooks path by itself.
Yes. And we can delete.
Yeah.
And we still have that deleted. Okay.
Yeah, get rid of line 2.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah. Should we go with this?
Yeah, let's try it.
Yay.
Okay. Man, that was painful. Sorry. Okay, so at this point you've got an admin group. So if you cat Etsy groups, you'll have that in there. Yeah, so that's admin. So then we would have to add that to the sudoers. And then if you cat Etsy password, you'll see the Sofas user.
Great.
Okay. So what I've done in the past is use the, let me find it. It's the sudo book. Here, I'll send this to you in iMessage.
Okay, so
what we can do is add a reference to this in our Burks file and then run Burks install. So that's why I was thinking, like, there's a Burks file for every cookbook, but there's also the Burks file for our site. You know what I mean? So it's kind of strange.
Makes sense. I mean, like when you were developing Ruby gems, you have a gem file for the gem as well as.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the same idea?
Yes, exactly the same idea.
So Burks file.
Well, yeah, it's the same idea, except that I feel like we're, I am stumbling on exactly how to manage this Burks file, because on some level, our server cookbook is going to be dependent on that. So maybe this should be in there, but then we have to tell it to install into a specific path.
So I know like the vendor does Burks cookbooks. So maybe like we have the ones we're developing in cookbooks, and then like we'll change this to Burks cookbooks, and we'll vendor everything.
Include both. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe this one we just have like
the dependencies,
the path, and then have
no, it's already there though. You don't need to install it.
But no, if we're going to change this to be Burks, right?
We would add both of them. So that way you've got the vendored one isolated from your own. And you treat the vendored one as read-only.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. So, but I still feel like the server one should declare its dependency in like metadata or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do we do that?
It's like add dependency. I forget. Data ends. And it's got the same structure as a gem dependency. So like if you have a version number, you can add that if you want to.
I hate server people like abbreviating things. I guess depends isn't abbreviated, but other places. I was reading as deps for a second.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
now if you run Burks install or Burks vendor,
well, I need to CD into the cookbooks server in that case.
yeah. So this is what I was talking about. You're going to have like a sub folder underneath server, which is going to be a little weird.
Do you think that should be like at the top level? Or that's fine? Because it'd be great to have like cookbooks and then like Burks cookbooks that are vendored.
Yeah.
You know?
You mean as a sibling?
Yeah, 2 cookbooks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how best to set that up. I think we should just pick one and run with it and see
Okay.
if it's painful.
So I'm just curious. Let's just try. Because if I was doing it in Ruby Gems, this is how I would do it, right? So now we just have the one, and we can point at Burks cookbooks exclusively from Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And it got the dependency for us automatically.
Okay.
I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's fine for now.
I mean, we can do the array, and then if it'll pick the development one first.
Still seems kind of sloppy.
So,
like, which one should you edit? You know, like they're gonna have the same files in it.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why it's like we should have Burks, this be a Git path, and then all that separate. Right? Like we had before.
Yeah, I think it's basically the same thing. You just have to make sure you commit like no local changes, which is fine.
So let's just do this for now, and then we can move it to its own repo after we get going. Is that cool with you?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so now we have the pseudo cookbook. How do we?
Okay, so that one works just on attributes.
Okay, so it's going to be a node thing.
It can be, or you can have attributes on a specific recipe.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out where mine is. Okay, so one way you could look this up is if you look at what it checked out for you in the cookbook itself. There's an attributes file or an attributes folder with default in it. These are all the default attributes, so we can override these anywhere.
Okay.
We can override them at the run list level, which takes precedence. We can override them in our cookbook level.
So we could do.
So you wouldn't do it here. What you would do is this cookbook would have its own attributes.
I see.
So you go into attributes and you right click, and right here you could specify anything you want here, and this is going to override the default. Now it's kind of weird the way this works because sometimes because of the order of operations in like the chef run, like in capitals chef run, there's this default is short for node.default, and there's also a node.override. So there's a way, since these get sort of collected ahead of time, if I would say only use override if you have to,
okay.
But it basically means that any defaults defined later on are not going to stomp on it.
So what should I do here for this?
Yeah, so defaults is perfect.
Okay.
And then we need to, let's see, I think we need to include the recipe in our attributes, or sorry, in our recipe. So what we would do at the top of this one, or actually after after you've defined your user, you would say include underscore recipe sudo.
Okay.
All right, so let's try that. And there's also the groups one, which you might want to do down the line to make anybody in the admin group.
Do you want to do that instead?
Sudo or also. I'd just do
Groups.
yeah, that would be better actually. Groups admin.
All right. So
Did it do it? It did it.
yay.
Okay, so there's a password list which you can turn on.
Crap. I don't have a password though, so I can't actually do that.
Yeah, you need password list sudo.
Okay.
So it's authorization sudo password list true.
Like this?
One word. Password less, LESS.
Oh,
No underscore. Yep.
got it. So in theory, we could say I don't know if you can hear that loud stuff. They're installing Windows in my building.
Man, it's so much quieter to install Mac OS 10.
That
Ba-doo-tsh.
was a good one. So darn.
That should have worked. Authorization sudo passwordless should have worked.
Pull up to date. Did I push? I did. Not working.
Can you double check? Because I may be using a. Oh yeah, it looks perfect. Node authorization sudo. Try using node instead of default. Yeah. It's really annoying to have to like. It's one of the reasons why Vagrant can be helpful because you can just have it share the current folder.
Yeah, that is
And
nice.
you can just like test things locally before pushing. But Vagrant comes with its own kind of annoyances.
Didn't like that.
What is it? Error?
Node attributes are read only.
Oh, okay.
Node.default.
Yeah, that's what we want.
So should we put them in the
So if you look at you can do it here. It's the same idea. So as a sibling key to run list, you would have a authorization with a subkey of sudo with
Got
a
it.
subkey of password list.
that kind of sucks though because this is like dependent to server, right? So I feel like it'd be better to have that live in the server cookbook somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And any server you create, you'd want to have the same run list. You don't want to have a lot of duplication in the node.json file.
Right. So how should we do this?
This is annoying. Can you just double check the spelling on all those things?
Yeah, I mean they worked before, right? It's just
Oh, you copied and pasted from the other one.
and then groups already worked, so we know that works.
Okay, so let's just go through what that cookbook is doing in the source code. If you look at the sudo cookbook recipes default, there's like a password list there. So do you see that template line on 141? Line 41.
Yes, yeah.
Template prefix sudoers. No. In the source code there, line 41.
Right.
So what that does is the string passed into the template method is the like target path, and then the source attribute is which template it's going to read.
I
So
see.
it's going to find the sudoers.erb from the templates folder. So it'll be templates default. And then this is how it templatizes that thing. So we should have a no password all if it's passwordless. So you could take a look at the sudoers file and see if that's in there.
Is this the right one?
Yeah, that's it. But you should have like
I don't see
it
it.
would be the admin group.
What's that?
It would be the admin group.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't see
Where is what is prefix by default?
look in attributes.
So maybe. Okay, maybe we're opt.
I don't think so. I think it's the right.
Yeah.
I think we were in the right spot.
So it's not editing this file. We need to have,
are you running Chef with sudo? Or you're root already, aren't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to tell it to run this cookbook somehow?
We already did though. We said include recipe in our server recipe.
Right.
Let's see, include recipe sudo. Yeah, that should have worked. Can you add in your own user into that file?
What do you mean? Just like edit this file?
No, like into the default attributes right there. Like groups admin and also put users.
Oh, it still doesn't like that.
Why didn't it complain last time?
We didn't. We never got to run that way. We tried default and it didn't work, so we switched to Node and it yelled at us about using Node.
We never switched it back.
Right.
Okay. So usually when you do this, it will show you like a diff of the files it changes. So you'll like see more activity in the Chef run.
Did I not pull? Here we go.
Yeah, so it's not modifying that file at all. Let me double check what I had to do to get this to work. Can you change this to node.override?
Ha.
I did this in. There's like 100 places to put node attributes, which adds to the confusion of where you should put things. So you can have like roles. So you can say this is a web server, this is a database server, and they look like this.
Got it.
And then the node.json overrides what's in the roles, and the roles override what's in the recipes. And there's also environments, which is like a different dimension. So for staging, you can have some settings. For production, you can have others. You know, it looks like it's not even running the. It's not even running that recipe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also not complaining. On the server, is your recipe being changed the way we would expect? Because remember, you had two copies of it.
Burks. Damn it.
Yeah. I remember thinking that would be a bad idea.
Well, it's weird because in the node, or here we have this, but I guess it's loading it from the other one.
Yeah.
We could, how about we do this? We could git ignore this one. That would force it to use the other one.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do that.
Still pretty ghetto, but that will get us at least running.
Yay, right? There's a diff.
Yeah, yep. Seeing the diff is good.
Yay.
All right.
All right. You're right. Sorry.
Okay, so let's go in and add another cookbook for Nginx.
Great. Oh, no, it's going to be, darn it.
And then Burks. And then we're going to...
Jeez.
Yeah. So there's a few things to look at. apt is basically for installing packages for Ubuntu type systems,
Right.
but it's a multi-platform cookbook. So there are these things called providers. apt is a provider for installing packages, but so is Yum, which is also installed. So basically that's how it figures out which package repo to use or package system. Ohai is basically a dependency of every cookbook. Ohai basically, instead of defining node attributes, it collects node attributes and it runs first. And so that way, later on in the Chef run, you can configure something based on how many cores are on the machine or how much memory you have, things like that. So basically, it's like a huge dump of all of your environment-specific information on that machine. So it's kind of interesting that node attributes are a way to like configure things that'll run, but also like at runtime they'll have values because of the Ohai cookbook. So if you look cookbook,
so this is as bad as far as I got last time. Only I used Librarian. But then it was like getting Upstart or whatever to make Nginx run on launch and then configuring.
So
IP
actually,
tables.
that's handled for you, which is pretty nice.
Awesome.
So what we need to do is like we'll need to give it an Nginx configuration file. Let me find out.
So is that going to be a template in our thing? And then we'll use a recipe command to like move it to the folder?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so what you're going to do is go into your server, into templates default, and add a new file, and we'll call this we need to like which sites you want. Like there needs to be multiples, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. It depends on how you want to manage this. Like if you want this to be dynamic, I think it'd be easier to make it static for now.
How would you make
you would have like You'd have to make it dynamic by making one template file that would work for multiple applications, which is possible, but I think it's easier for us to start with one.
That's fine. Let's do that. Remove some complexity for now.
Yeah. So let's just say like a Ruby app.conf or something like that. And then I can show you what we have for ours. Let's see. I don't know if you already have something specified, but copy paste works in iMessage like that. So this one's using Unicorn.
Nice. Well, I use Puma, but it should be similar, I'd assume.
You can like proxy off to a port, or
yeah, I mean that's how Puma works, I think.
So basically, anything in here that's configurable, we want to make that a variable and like use ERB to pipe in the value.
Oh, there it is.
So we can just sort of copy and paste certain things. So at the very top, you see there's like node app deploy shared path. That's like if you're going to deploy with Capistrano. But ultimately, we've got to have like the name of the app and where it's being deployed to. Now, this is sort of an anti-pattern where we're reaching into node attributes directly, because that means this template can't easily be reused if you have multiple apps.
Right.
So I think it would be better to have like a path, like an instance variable. So replace like node app deploy shared path with like at path. Do you deploy these with Capistrano, or how do you?
I don't know. I've just been doing Heroku for so long. So I mean, it'd be great to have like some sort of get push thing, but
yeah, I think that it would be a good idea to do that.
But we can just get like, we can even manually like clone some little Ruby app onto the server to make Nginx work, and then like go from there. Whatever though.
Yeah,
so this should be like,
this would be like shared path or something like that, or maybe like path/shared. That way you'd have like a root path for the application, and then like a shared underneath that for like things that need to stick around through deployments, like logs and PID files and things like that.
okay.
Yeah, that looks good. So then server name would be like the list of server names or whatever. Yeah. And then this one would be path/current.
Oh, I see. For like
/public
style.
Yeah. We can change it later, but if we need to. SSL certs, you probably delete those for now, unless you have a spot for those.
Yeah, I have to figure that out, because I will have certs, but I'll need to like.
Yeah. Let's see. And then if you look at the location assets, that's if you're using asset pipeline in Rails.
Yes. Which is fine. I'm using.
And then the try files, it does URI/index.html, then URI. And then, so it's kind of weird how that works, but like if there's an index.html file, it'll use that first.
Right. Can I copy and paste something? Come on. It's probably safe.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. I just use this.
I think it's almost the same thing you already have.
Right. Well, how do they? Oh, I see. Okay, here's where that name came from. Got it.
And then the port, I think, is.
Where do you see that?
Scroll at the top. It's upstream server. Oh, it's a sock file. That's why.
Right.
There's no
Oh.
port.
I don't know how does this one work?
Does this one work with a sock file? Yeah.
Sock file, my app.sock. So name.sock. Yeah, great. Okay. We'll have to configure that in the app, I'm assuming, to like where it's going to put the sock file.
Yeah. So line 13, you can get rid of that comment.
We don't need that.
It's kind of weird. Like if you want to use headers that have underscores in them, they get converted to dashes for some reason by default, which cause problems in our app. But
cool. All right.
And then if this is like line 41, if there's a maintenance page, that's how you like turn on maintenance and turn off maintenance.
That's cool.
So it'll like jump straight to that. But line 44 will say, we don't care about images in maintenance mode.
Nice.
And so then once all those variables are set, if we're in maintenance mode, then we'll return a 503.
Sweet.
And rewrite all paths to system maintenance.html or whatever path needs to be.
All right. That's cool. Only if that is there.
Only if set maintenance is 1. And only if that file is there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool. That's neat.
Yeah, so we had like a Capistrano thing that would just like rename a file on the server.
Nice. That's cool. I want to move this for now. I'll probably add it back later though.
Okay, so what are the variables? We just need to collect all the variables we need. Hosts, path, is that it? And name.
Yeah.
Okay, so in our server recipes, so right here we're sort of already doing.
Can we omit this block?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. We're already doing like too much in this one.
Okay.
So what I would do is like refactor this and add a new recipe called users.
Oh, and then the default one's going to call.
It's going to include recipe users.
Got it. Okay. So.
Perfect.
I guess it's going to like default to scope the current cookbook and then.
Yes. And if you want one outside of that cookbook, then you'd fully qualify it.
Got it. So you could say, or I guess we call it like web server. I don't know.
Yeah. Or app or whatever you want to call it.
Okay. So something about the template and then
so it's going to be template, app path, hosts.
Okay, so
this is going to be Etsy, Nginx, sites dash available / and then this is going to be the name.conf or whatever, the name of the file. So what's the first one you want to do? Just like the Sophos
that's fine.
site?
Yeah. Or we wouldn't do the hike, so it's less confusing since the username's already Sophos.
Okay, cool. So what I would do is just like, yeah, we can hard code it for now, but you can kind of see how you could like loop over this. Like you could loop over an array of node attributes.
We could say, we can just make like.
Yeah, perfect. And eventually this could be an array of things that come from node attributes, either from your attributes default file or from your node.json file.
Or I guess I can do star. Cool. Right.
Perfect. Okay, so then the path, we're going to need the path somewhere. I don't know where you typically put that, but like var sites or
okay.
www. Yeah. So we'll just clone it into that spot at some point, and then it needs to have the current shared business.
Right. We can deal with that
later. Okay, so now we just you specify the template name that you want is by default. We'll look for wwdc-hike.conf.erb. It like appends whatever the target file name is with .erb. But since our template file is going to be named different, we got to specify the source like that.
Got it.
And then there's a variables line where we pass a hash of all the variables to send.
So we could totally just
literally just attributes. Okay, so then when we add a new site, if we change configuration for a site, we need to tell Nginx to reload its configuration.
Okay.
So like if you went in and added like SSL, you want Nginx to know that you added that and reload.
Sure.
So there's this thing called they're almost like notifications. So you basically raise a notification, say, "Hey Nginx, I need you to restart or reload."
Okay.
So this is going to be notifies inside the template thing. So basically, whenever the template changes,
Got it.
it'll say notifies, and then let me find syntax for that. Notifies : reload, because you can reload without restarting the process because you don't want to drop connections, and that's just a symbol.
Oh, nice.
Notifies reload, comma, and then in quotes, service open bracket Nginx. So somewhere in the Nginx repo, they declared that there is a service, and it's managed by Upstart or init.d or
right.
However it's configured.
Provider for that, right?
Yeah. In fact, we should go take a look at that. If you look at the Nginx cookbook and look at where is that? Jeez. It's probably server. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff in there.
Sorry, where?
It might be in server. Look in default and see what's in default. Service. Oh, there it is. So do you see how it supports status, restart, and reload?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So you could use those because it supports those actions. You can notify, restart, or reload to any service.
That's cool.
And the cool thing about it is our recipe might run, and then 5 others might run that modify similar things. And so the notifies will happen at the very end of the Chef run.
Nice.
It'll raise the notification. Nginx will say, "Oh, I need to reload." And then there's another way to do it to say notifies immediately, which will happen right then.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so we need to do the enable site thing.
What is Blue Pill, by the way? I've seen that a bunch of places too.
Like God or Monet.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
One.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so back in the web server thing, at the bottom of this one, we need to tell Nginx to enable the site. So there's user and groups. Group was a resource. Template is a resource.
Sure.
Nginx came with its own resources. One of them is called Nginx_site.
Okay.
And then we give it the name of the site, which is going to be the same name as our conf file, I think. Attributes name, I think.
We need .conf.
That's a good question. Let me look it up.
Where would you find documentation for this? Just look in the source, or?
I usually try to look at the source because there's just a lot of because there's going to be a bunch of Nginx cookbooks. You got to make sure you're getting the right one.
Sure.
So let's see. Yeah, so it's looking at param's name for sites available. So yeah, we need the conf in there.
Okay.
And then the action, do, and then inside of there, action : enable. And so later on, if you wanted to disable a site, you could say action disable, and it'll disable it if it's enabled.
Sure.
And similarly, if you had a bunch of users on a server and you fired somebody and then they need to not have access to it, just deleting that line of code that adds them isn't enough to delete it, because you have to actively undo what you did.
I see. That makes sense.
So there's action remove, which basically says if this user is here, remove them.
Got it.
Which I actually had to do one time, which was fun. Okay. Are we including the Nginx recipe anywhere? Because I think we need to do that at the top so that you have access to all of those things.
Cool.
Okay, let's check that in. And we need to give our no, we don't. Sorry. We're already in the run list.
I guess while we're at it, we can.
You're gonna have to deploy that app to the server. Yeah, you're gonna have to copy your key.
It's public.
Oh,
I guess we shouldn't do any of this here. We should do it like creating www.var.
yeah.
Like,
So I know a lot of people like deploy stuff with Chef also, and I've never done that. So I feel like more stumbling is in our future.
well, I'm about to like set up this and set the right permissions in this directory and all that. I feel like that should be part of.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I agree.
So
what you can do is you can just say dir. Like dir is a resource.
okay, I guess we can do it here. That's fine.
Yeah. var www, and then I think recursive. Let me look up the Chef. That's directory. Sorry. Yeah. So you've got owner, root, mode, action, create. So owner would be like if you want to have it owned by like a site or something like that. For now, is just as you is fine. And then action create.
This is gonna be. Darn it. Where's the?
Yeah, set group.
I guess it's fine because users runs before web server.
Yes.
So, okay. And group to be like admin's a bad idea. Maybe we should make an Nginx user or like a web user.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
What should we make a group for them? I don't know.
No, because you can just say group web, like user and group would be the same.
Okay, is that by default?
So here's what's going to be hard. I think having a web group is good because then you can add the web group to the Sofas user. You know what I mean? Because you want to be able to log in and like modify files.
Sure.
I think you need just an array. Like you can't call it twice.
Yeah.
It looks good.
And then
hang on. Is it working properly to add groups like that? Did it add you to that?
I don't know. We don't know actually, do we? How do we find that out?
I'm looking at the documentation and I don't see groups in there at all. I see GID.
How do you see?
If you do cat Etsy group, it'll show you who's in it. And I think if you do the reverse cat Etsy password, it'll show you which users that group is in. Let's see. I don't see any users. Try cat Etsy password.
Are they? Yeah, they're not in a group, right?
Yeah, it looks like that's not working.
Okay.
There in the group resource, you can specify members. So maybe add the 2 users and then add the members afterwards. Yeah, members, which is an array. Yeah, so now we can like own that folder would be owned by web and writable by web, the group.
Right.
So that would be mode.
Where do you? Yeah.
Directory mode, and then as a string, we want to do 0644. So group writable.
Right.
Owner writable. Everyone readable. Is that right? Is that right? 664.
Yeah. 755 is like
Execute.
Execute. Yeah, which we don't need. Cool. Yeah. So
wait, 4 is read only, right? Where's for read write? I forget.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, 664 is what we want.
Yeah.
Is 4 is only read. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. So let's run it.
Do we need to like call this users somehow? So you couldn't find recipe users.
Are we sure we
Did I not add the files?
did you do the Burke shelf thing again? Oh wait, no,
Doesn't matter, right?
We ignored that path.
Yeah. Maybe it's not ignored on the server. Yeah, because this file is changing, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, sorry, let me see the error.
Include recipe users. Oh, yeah, that should work actually. Try doing, yeah, it's fully qualified. Do a server : users. Yeah, I had to do that all over the place.
I'll just call this.
Yeah, perfect.
In case the dashes doesn't like.
So you're also going to want Ruby at some point, which is probably our next step.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and add that?
Well, let's get this working.
Okay, sure.
I mean, Nginx should be like throwing us a 500 error. You know what I mean? Like working, but throwing a 500. Let's see what's the error. Recipes defaults RB. Ending closing quote.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's my job to catch all the typos. So by default, that Nginx service should already be running. Like after it installs, it tells it to run, and that means it'll run on boot.
Great. I know it's not even running yet, but I feel like I'm already like understand this so much more than trying to read tutorials. So like, thanks so much. All right. So
okay, so let's just curl localhost. Like, does anything work? Forbidden.
Yeah, so there's a server running.
Yeah, so why is it forbidden? Nginx needs to read access to that file. So you want to add Nginx.
Yep.
Is Nginx running as like a specific user? Yeah, look and see if there's an Nginx user. Yeah, so we just need to add Nginx to our web user. Our web group, I mean.
Yep. Cool. So
now, interesting question. We have a chicken and the egg scenario now. Like it'll work now, but what happens if in the future, if you run it from scratch, there wouldn't have been an Nginx user at this point?
Right.
So I feel like we should do this afterwards. You know what I mean? Like don't do it here.
Yeah.
No, like do like your basic setup, but I think we would just like modify that in the web one. Pretty sure we can modify it here. Just like say group web members Nginx.
Okay, it won't like remove the other people?
No.
Great.
I think this is better because it's isolated.
I agree. Right, because this thing doesn't care at all about Nginx now.
Yep.
Which is great. Okay.
I say that, and then I think I messed up because did you see that thing? It says replace group, replace list of something.
Yeah, you're right. Totally. No, I'm not in the web group.
So let me figure that out. So group alter member. There, thing we can do. Chef group resource all.
Append. Yeah, right. Specify
Yes.
member should be appended. Yeah, so we'll just do
Append true. That's what it is. I think the default is false.
here, or is it like up?
No,
top?
no. Yeah. No, it's an attribute. It's
Oh, you're right.
just
So
like,
it's yeah, I see.
yeah. Add missing member Nginx. Okay.
Sweet.
So now try and curl localhost and see if we still get that same issue. Okay, why are we getting forbidden?
I assume because there's no folder there, right? Well, no, we don't even have a default site. Right? It's only looking for this one vhost for that domain. We don't have a local host.
How does that normally work? Like, what does the default Nginx site have? Isn't there one by default?
I think it's like welcome to Nginx.
Go
right?
go to yeah, I know, but that one should be working. If you go on the server and like take a look at sites enabled, let's see Nginx. And that default, take a look at that guy. Yeah, he's just like listen 80.
Oh, I know why. That was already a directory earlier, so I deleted it because it wasn't working. So we can just remember I like made it and then like, oh, we should delete this because I want the step to make it. So we can just
yeah, I think we should make it have an HTML file in there and make sure it works.
oh, we did this as root. Darn it. Let's do it that way.
Yeah, you can do like web:web if you want to do it in one line.
Oh.
Do
we need to like reload?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Can you just step out one directory and do ls-l? Yeah, web. Yeah, it should work. And step out one more and do it again. So our www is web, yeah. And what did you do? Yeah. SU Nginx and do that.
That's weird.
That is weird. Look at the file itself.
That's also weird. Whatever. Sorry, say it again.
To ls-l that file.
As web.
No, just like so we can see the permissions on it. Make sure it got set properly. cdcat.
Yeah, web.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it's
Read. Yeah. 664. Well, it's not writable, but that's fine.
That's true. Crap.
I think Nginx got hosed.
Yeah, I think I broke things.
Let's do start on Nginx. Or service start Nginx. Service Nginx start.
Job failed. Why did it fail?
Yeah, I don't know how this gets set up.
Maybe this will start it for us. Still failing.
So can we take a look at the output, the var log, Nginx error log?
Where do you see that?
That's just where Nginx
Okay.
errors. I don't know if it's an Nginx error or what. You're gonna have to do sudo.
I'm already
No, your root. Sorry. rlog Nginx error.log. Unknown directive server.
Oh, well, at least it's fine in our template. Progress.
Yeah. And hang on, what was the other error? var www nginx default index.html is forbidden. Permission denied.
Let's figure that out next, I guess. Server line 2. Well,
that's weird.
Call this.
Can you go look at that file on the server to make sure it templated it correctly?
Sure. Also, I was noticing it was sites enabled and we did sites available.
Yeah. So no. We want it sites available.
Oh, I see. And then we enable it here.
Yeah. That symlinks it.
Okay.
Unknown directive server. That's weird.
Should probably be. Also, they didn't add .conf anywhere, so I guess we can take it out.
They didn't add .conf?
Like the it was just like 00 default.
Yeah, but ours was.
Right. But the
okay, so we don't even need to do it because that's not standard.
I don't know. Just a thought.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, here it is. Server.
I'm just looking at the lines above it to make sure there's no like syntax error. Looks fine.
We can copy the Puma one, see if it matters. Where does that go? Let's do the whole thing simpler. Come back to the other stuff.
I think it was hosts.
Right. Well, so since I guess this is like a good thing to know. Since we did wherever it was, here I'm rename that file. It's not going to delete the old file, right?
Right. So what you would do is you would say file, like just kind of like you did the directories above. You give it the target path name. .conf. And then the action would be delete.
Got it.
So it's kind of like an idempotent way of deleting the file.
I guess it's fine to just leave it. I don't know.
Yeah, or you could just delete it manually. And like when you're running like 20 servers, that's like a giant chore. And so
Sure.
adding in the deletion makes sense. And then you can always delete it later once you're sure it's run on all the servers.
Yeah, that's true. We'll just leave it. All right. Cool.
Just do Control R, Git.
That's awesome. Did not know that was a thing. That's the most helpful thing I learned today, right there. Cool. Oh, Nginx started, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Incredible. All right. Why is that forbidden?
Okay, so if we look at if we cat the log file again, or tail or whatever, it will probably get the same permission denied error on the index.html file.
Yep.
So can you su as web and cat that file, that exact path? No, why not?
I don't understand. What? What? Web. Why can web? Is web not in that group?
But it's the user. It owns it.
That's true. Yeah. What was the permissions?
Dude, that's totally
Read,
perfect.
read.
That's
Yeah, it should
exactly
totally
what
be
should
fine. Why can't I? It doesn't. What?
If you like do like makedir www2 and just like compare what it gives you. Oh, there's no execute permission on folders. Don't you need execute permission on folders? Like look at all the other folders on the system that have
I
execute.
guess we can add it.
So I think you need 755. Like to step into the folder.
Right.
775.
5.
Yeah.
Right. Magic.
Okay. SU web. Promising.
Yay!
Okay.
All right.
Roll
So,
the boys.
Siri.
Hey,
Yay!
it works.
All right, it works.
So now if you hit the IP address, it should work from the internet.
Don't.
That's weird. It looks like an internal IP.
Yay! It does 192. Yeah. Anyway. Sweet.
Okay. Let's install Ruby.
Yes.
So there's an RBENV cookbook, which I've used.
I guess that's a. This one. No, not that one. This one.
Yes.
No, this one. There. So many packages.
Yeah.
We should just go nuts and install like RPM and then Bower and all the others. Gosh, I hate JavaScript packaging. It's just like it's so stupid. Anyway, all right. Yeah.
Yep.
Then Sweet. Windows. Nice. Then I guess we need to configure this so we can make a new like Ruby one and then include our Ruby thing from.
Yeah, and I think let me look up how to use that cookbook. So you can include recipe RBENV : default, and then also : Ruby _ build.
Okay.
And then installing a Ruby is RBENV _ Ruby with the version number. So you probably want 2.2.2. What is it? 2.2.2. Goodness.
Yeah.
That should be.
Right. Cool. So that's it.
Did you include that from default or from web?
Yep. Default Ruby.
Okay.
I guess I can include it from web. I might want Ruby. Whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you wanted to have like a worker server.
Yeah.
That didn't have Nginx on it. And this will probably take 25 minutes.
Yep. I'm waiting for.
While it's doing this, do you want to add in the Redis cookbook?
Yeah, sure. Guess it's just Redis.
Yep.
Great. And then, is this a good pattern to like have a recipe for each one to depend on and like configure it in that recipe?
Yeah, if there's some notable configuration, yeah.
Okay.
I definitely like it because it makes things pretty explicit. I mean, just looking at mine, there's a lot of things in here that are sort of unorganized, which I wish I had done slightly differently. But I've got about 25 or 30 recipes for various things.
Busy. Okay. So include Redis and then.
Oh yeah, like one of the things you might want to do, like so I have like a Redis backup recipe, and I have a Redis client recipe which adds the environment variable. Here, I'll show you this one. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, Redis client does sound awesome. Is that iMessage?
Yeah.
Hangouts? iMessage?
iMessage. So some of the things you'll find like don't have a resource. There's no easy way to do it. And so this is a way of running Ruby on the server in an idempotent way.
That's pretty cool.
Actually, this one is not idempotent at all. It'll do this every time. But basically, it's saying like, oh, our applications are going to want like a Redis URL environment variable. And so we're going to add that to etc environment, which every process will inherit. I don't know of a better way to do this other than like maybe template files and using .env on the server.
Yeah.
But basically, see like line 10, it like is
this is really cool.
That thing, and so for every block, you have like run bash code or run Ruby code. You can say not if, and provide a block, and that block will run on the server. So you can say like not if this file exists.
Got it.
And so this one is going to do it every time because it's got to do the grep every time anyway. So I don't know. There's not an easy way to make this particular one idempotent. But
for hosts, should I just use like localhost?
Yeah, but this is like letting you change it. So if you wanted to like move Redis onto a different server in the future,
got it. So should I do like
so I would change that to like node Redis host, yeah, and then put that default in the attributes.
Okay.
But attributes Redis because this is a default for that recipe. Like add a new file called Redis. That way everything stays organized.
All right. I had that autocomplete thing and it keeps capitalizing everywhere. When? Yeah, cool.
All right, how's the server? It's still installing. Jeez.
Doing some stuff. All right.
Okay, so now we've got a default there. It'll get specified here. Why is that a string?
Oh, that's just
Did you change that or did that?
four. Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I guess we can add port and DB to the.
Yes, because honestly, DB is a good one to switch per application.
This is pretty cool. I like the.
One thing I like about the attributes files is it's kind of like, here are all the things you can do to configure me.
Right. Cool. I like that. Okay. Editing the environment feels like kind of bad, but whatever.
Pretty disgusting.
Okay, I'm trying to think what else.
Also, like all the magic in here, I tried to do the same thing with Bash, and it was, oh my God, disgusting. So thankfully, they have a search file replace line method.
Yeah, these are really cool. I like that.
It does exactly like this is two different cases. Like if the line matches but doesn't, or if the line is there but doesn't match this path, or if there's no match.
That's cool. Oh, I guess this though, every app's going to share the same Redis, which isn't ideal.
Right. So this Ruby block thing would, I guess, yeah. Let's see. That's not ideal.
You could pick a different database per site somehow.
But then you wouldn't want to put that in Etsy environment.
Right. I guess you'd want .env and use .env gem.
Yep. I would do that. And then you could have a template for each one if you needed, if you wanted to manage it that way.
Yeah, that's a better idea. Okay. Well,
but like leave that there for reference or something because it can be handy.
That's cool.
Let's see. There's one other thing I had to do. Let's see. I did log rotate for the logs.
This failed to build Ruby.
Yay. What happened?
libffi bad value. Recompile with that flag.
So this
that sucks.
Is 2.2.2 or 2.2.0 the latest?
Yeah. Oh.
2.2.2.
We do that instead. I need to okay.
Now I'm assuming that this thing will install all the packages it needs because on CentOS you need GCC, OpenSSL, Devel, libyaml, libffi, readline.
Right. I'd assume, right? Like it should do that.
We could look at it. It would show you. Like it uses the package resource to install. Default. Yeah, all those package lines.
Okay. Yeah. So. So how do we do the git push while this is installing?
Okay, that's going to be fun. So let me find the link that I used last time.
Because I feel like I have enough tools to configure Redis to do like a per site configuration. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should. That might be good to do too because we don't have anything configured for. Well, no, I guess I could just do a .env per thing, and it's totally separate from that other.
Yeah, I think that's better.
It's just a template per site that has .env. So I guess two things I'd like to know, because we don't have to like finish all of this. Like we've already like 2 hours in. Jeez.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just looking at the clock thinking there's got to be a way to get like set up. We had like some fumbling at the beginning with the exact structure
right.
of the cookbooks.
Which I'm still not totally happy with, but it's working. So,
and honestly, that's exactly kind of how my project ended up and stayed that way for 2 years. It works. And there's documentation and scripting and all that stuff. So you don't really have to. Really
so I'd
pay
like
attention.
this to remain open source. Maybe.
Yeah, honestly, it'd be nice to like solicit feedback from the chef community.
But I don't know how to
what we do
add
different.
SSL certs and keys.
So
Or
you would do
just-
that with encrypted data bags.
Okay, and then also, I'd probably have more like .env stuff per site as well. Like for example, like my personal website has like my random API key for whatever service to like download like my Instagram photos and put them on the front, you know, like that sort of crap.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
data bags.
yeah,
for
so if-
keys as
so
well.
there's a data bags folder in the root of this project, or there might be. No, there's not, but there could be. You could do data underscore bags. It's like the stupidest name ever. And then you have a bag
Right.
for each. For instance, I have a bag called users, and inside of there is a bunch of JSON files for each user.
Okay, so how does that make new folder?
So you could have like a data bag called API keys or something.
Well, I could probably do it per site, right? So like,
Okay, yeah.
and
And then
then
inside there, you could have like API keys.json. Now, this is going to make it readable. To add an encrypted data bag key, there's like some more setup you'd have to do. You know what I'm saying?
okay, so but would I like check in my encrypted data bags?
Yes, but not the key.
Sure. So then how do I run that with Chef Solo?
So then you would put the key on the server privately.
Okay, and then the solo.rb has a path for that.
Exactly. And so then there's a chef encrypted data bag.load, and it already knows where the key is. And so you just tell it which data bag to load, and then you loop over that like you're basically looping over arrays of JSON hashes.
Okay, so can we like add a .env with foobar in it real quick? Or like,
As encrypted?
yeah. This is still
Yeah.
installing.
Okay.
If you're running out of time, that's fine too. I know we'd only planned an hour for this. We're already 2 hours in.
I'm trying to think if this is going to be easy to do. And
Or I can just like Google it and figure it out. But
so let me just give you the salient points. Like, we haven't used Knife at all. But Knife is like Rake for Chef.
okay.
So there's some Knife tools for managing encrypted data bag files. And so you can say Knife data bag, something like that in there. Yeah, Knife data bag create, edit, etc. And there's a way to, let's see.
Private key cannot be loaded.
So one of the problems with Knife is it like really kind of assumes you're using Chef server. So that's what it's trying to like communicate with some Chef server. Like if you were using Chef server, then the data bags would live on the server. They would not be files on disk.
That makes sense.
Okay, so you're going to run, look at this link, and search for secret keys. So that's how we're going to get the encrypted data bag secret.
Okay. A new one. Wanted to see what was in there. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Okay, so now you can type Knife data bag create. Then you need the bag name and the item name. So the bag name would probably be like not like that. Hang on. Like the bag name is going to be the site, and then the item name is going to be like API_keys.
Oh, I see.
It's
Now-
going to end up being API_keys.json. And then you pass in -- secret - file.
Secret file.
Yeah.
Come on.
Secret file space encrypted data bag secret. Why is it doing that?
Knife solo. Be too good to be true, right?
Well, so there is a knife solo, but that's a different thing.
Of course it is.
So annoying. Hang on, I have a script for this I can look up real quick. Oh, interesting. It's a Ruby script that uses the chef.
Should I do knife configuration initial?
Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
There's no server URL, so yeah, this is kind of the.
Sure. Okay. Whatever you want. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Great. Now can I use knife?
Knife data bag chef solo. This like I get so frustrated with chef, man. There's like a gem for knife solo data bag.
It looks like Ruby is done. No, exit unsuccessfully.
What happened this time?
Build failed. Inspecting working tree results logged to this thing. Make killed. Why did it like time out or something?
Oh, that's annoying. At 95% too.
Yeah.
That's aggravating.
Try it again, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it may have run out of memory or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Can I find out somehow?
Maybe like run top or something and see if. Like you can just do like go back to the first one and just do Control Z, which will suspend it, and do BG to like put that in the background so it'll continue to run, and then type top. And so it looks like you're.
There's some free.
Yeah. 35 megs. Not much.
Think that's what happened?
Could be.
Upgraded the double one.
Well, let's see if this passes, then this probably was the issue. I don't think we should run into problems with like vanilla Ruby install. Anyway, yeah, I don't think I'll send you the link to this knife solo data bag, which should be what we need.
This guy?
Yeah.
So
it's like knife solo data bag create, and then there's the secret key stuff. And then I think knife space solo data bag create, and I think he has a different syntax for the secret. -S.
-S. Oh no, secret file still.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a shortcut for both of them. Configured data bag path is invalid. What? I think you might have a .chef folder in here.
Locally?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, like in your home. You know what? You're probably going to want to move this out anyway, because you can't check that file in, or just ignore it. It's probably a better idea.
This thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But why can't I make that data bag?
That's the configured.
Oh, should I be in the? I bet I should I be in the server thing?
Yes. Because it's going to look for a data bags folder. Somewhere you've got a .chef thing in there. Do you see? It looks like you've got a configured. Look at. Do you have a knife.rb anywhere? No.
Or, is it initialized?
I think it was knife configure or something like that. But that's going to be like.
It wanted to put it in .chef, but I deleted.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have to do this. I did have a knife configuration file for my, because NS Screencast ended up using a Chef server just so I could try it out. I had one there.
Frustrating.
Yeah, that's annoying. Open up your solo.rb and add a data bags path in there. Yeah. Would be /data bags.
Oh, it would be in the root, not in the cookbook. That makes sense, right? Before I had it in here.
Okay. Seems like Knife Solo isn't even looking at that folder. At that.
We need like -C somewhere.
So aggravating. I don't know.
Should we? This thing says try Knife Solo instead of Knife Solo data bag.
I thought this was like a plugin for Knife Solo. Jeez.
How do we?
Let's see. So be careful with Knife Solo in it because that's going to initialize a new like kitchen project.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's going to like create a directory structure for you to work with.
So
And then Bootstrap is to like set up a new server to run Chef. Cook is to run Chef on that host name. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like a lot of tools to like make it easy to run Chef from your local machine. I don't see anything in here about managing data tags.
Frustrating. Is this done yet?
So if you want to get back to the prompt, hit Q.
Yeah.
And then FG for foreground.
Wait, what just happened?
It's not running anymore.
Yeah, looks like it failed. Maybe it finished. Just run it again and see. Or we can do
Man, really want to end on a high note.
No.
Let's see.
Do that.
You're just gonna create a new one and deploy to it?
A 1 gig one instead of a 512, and then try everything from beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's a way to just resize it. Is there?
Oh, is there?
I know with Linode you could, but you'd have to reboot.
Oh, resize. Look at that.
Power off your server from the command line.
I mean, I kind of don't mind to blow everything away though, because all we do is just like clone Chef and then run the command.
Yeah.
I guess we can. Can you reset it too? I don't know. I'll just power it off and make a new one. We can come back to that.
Searching on this Chef Solo error we got.
Cool. Okay, well, I'll deal with data bags later. At least I understand like what it's for. Follow that thing.
Okay.
Is Knife an alternative to Burks?
Like Knife Solo?
Yeah, can it do that too?
It will work with it. So
Okay.
you don't have to use it. You can, as with everything.
Gosh. I feel like there's so many solutions to solve the same problem for all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things, like, it's kind of nice that it fits so many workflows, but then people like turn their nose up of like, oh, you checked in other data bags into your data bag your other cookbooks into your cookbook project. That's gross. And so then they create a competing project to do something else. And I don't know. And unless you live and breathe this stuff, it's really hard to like pay attention and say like, oh, this is the right way to do it.
Yeah. I wish Chef had a like dictator like DHH, just like, no, everyone shut up. This is the way we're doing it, you know? Because I feel like that works really well.
It certainly does for like people who are not experts in the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just want to repeatedly install packages and users and not have to like write down scripts that I ran.
Yeah.
Because that sucks.
Okay, so install Chef. Just like going back to my old tabs.
Yeah.
Install Git. With all of the Perl in the world for some reason. Don't get that. And then we can do. No, I'm including this var chef, right?
Yeah.
Again.
Jukebook.
All right.
Kind of fun watching it run from scratch.
Yeah. I guess this is so if I was gonna like continue working on that, well, I'm definitely gonna continue working on this. But as we like try to wrap up, should I try to switch to Vagrant and Test Kitchen?
I've never used Test Kitchen. I like the idea in theory of testing your cookbooks locally, but like setting up a Vagrant VM that just shares your local file, then you can just switch over to the VM and run install every time and just sort of see if it worked. Like Test Kitchen is like one level above that, which that adds like asserts, like assert package and things like that.
Sure.
So for larger sites, I'd probably take a look at Test Kitchen. It just depends on how much time you want to spend on this.
Yeah. Not much.
Yeah, one thing I kind of like like I have all these hackers that try and call order success.php on my sites, like trying to hack some crappy e-commerce site thing. And so when I see those things, or people like trying to like take advantage of like param parsing, I'll get an exception and I'll just go in and ban their IP address. And that was just like a template file that I added their IP address to that template file and reran Chef. And so I just scripted all that. So I just I have a banip.sh, and it adds the IP to the file, checks it in, and then uses SSH, knife SSH to run a command, which will run Chef. And so it takes a few minutes, but I have as soon as I see the error email come in, I just ban the IP address, and it's like I don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. What do you use for error reporting, just out of curiosity?
Right now, Airbrake. I'm not really super happy with it, but it works.
I've had good results with Honeybadger.
Honeybadger's pricing just seems like totally not appropriate for like one person running one site.
I haven't looked at it in a while. It used to be like really cheap as a Heroku add-on.
Oh, as an individual, it was like $40 a month. It was more than I was paying for my server.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I think it was more meant for like an agency that runs for clients, like lots of apps for clients. But for like one site, it seems really expensive. So I don't even think I pay for Airbrake, because like my error volume is pretty low.
Yeah.
And I've been tempted to like run Airbit locally, like run my own Airbit server, which is like an Airbrake clone that was open source. Just because my volume is so slow.
Yeah.
Or so low. I've also used AppSignal. And AppSignal is sort of like New Relic plus Airbrake.
Okay.
It's pretty nice. It does like sidekick queue monitoring, like
cool,
metrics and stuff like that.
That's neat. So how do I do git push? What's the
there's like a manual way to set it up where you would initialize a bare repository on the server.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the hooks. So you'd have a post receive hook that does whatever scripting you want to do. But I noticed there's like Mislav.
Yeah.
He has a git deploy repo, which I just saw, which might make this a little bit easier. So it's a git deploy gem, then adds a production remote, which would be your server. And then you've got deploy, setup, after push, before restart, restart, after restart scripts.
So the best way to set that up, since it's like a Ruby gem with some configuration, is that just another recipe and then that Ruby block you showed with Redis? And then just
yeah, it could be. I mean, let me trying to think of how because I did this for an Nginx, sorry, not Nginx, a Node site, which was literally copy these files to this location and restart the process. But basically, we just need to what do you want to have happen when you push? So you'd probably it depends on if you want to do the shared shared/current, or have releases, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd clone into a releases folder for the timestamp, or copy -r
sure
into a releases folder, and then when that's all done, you would symlink that one to current.
Right. Well, hopefully we can get Ruby to install. It'd be pretty sad if we can't.
You want to open up another terminal and we can look at like just deploying like a live HTML site, HTML page.
Sure. Oh, like in yeah, what is this?
So what you could do here is like make dir var git. And then you want to go into that folder, and then we probably want a user. You want to do this in the recipe for now?
Yeah.
Just do like a git recipe. So then in here we would do like create a git user and a git group. You could even do that right in the git repo if you want.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the git recipe.
Oh, wrong place.
Yep. And then what we want to do is inside there, we want to like clone each of our projects.
But
Yeah, perfect. We're going to want to like initialize a new project is you can do with git init -- bear, but we don't want to do that if there's already one there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, real quick before we do this, can we move this into like JSON somewhere?
Yeah.
Before we start duplicating that.
So let's do let's go into the attributes for the server.
Is that going to be for like this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then probably a new one, and this will be like apps. And then here we could say node server apps, or sorry, it depends on how you want to do it. Like you could have like a default, which is an empty array, which would be like an indication that you would have to override that somewhere. And so then in here you could have the 3 or the 2 apps, like just copy and paste that attributes array in there.
Should this live like at the root level, not in the cookbook?
Right.
So like, and then.
Yes. Yeah, that's better. And then anything specific to different apps, you just put in there some more attributes.
Great. Okay, so now we could say
Well, so this would just be like wwdc hike.git, right? Because you're not gonna do GitHub here. You're gonna be pushing directly to your server,
Right.
so you don't even need that. What I would say is,
We just use the name in that case.
yeah. So back to the Git thing, the Git recipe. Actually, back on the web recipe. We'll loop over that. You're just gonna make the path default.
I'll just make it the name.
Computed. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So now instead of this, we can do yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
So then we can say
App name. Variables is just app.
we'll need to change this to be.
I think that's all fine.
Oh yeah, we didn't even use path before. Huh.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yep. Okay, so now we can go back to Git and.
Yeah, since we're not using the shared current stuff, it'd be a little bit easier to do this. So now here we're going to basically we're going to run some code, but not if the file already exists.
Okay.
So there's a Chef execute resource, I think.
Hey, it worked.
Wait, 568 seconds, man. It's 10 minutes.
Damn, Ruby's not installed. What?
Well, no. RBENV is installed.
Oh, it's just all right. I see.
Your thing set up properly.
Okay.
In fact, if you reload your shell, it might work.
Maybe I can just.
You may need to say.
We'll need to pick a Ruby and all that.
Yeah.
We
You
can
might also need to say which users.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Or we can do that.
Okay, so here we're going to use the Chef execute resource. And so this is going to like execute a script. So you can just tell it whatever you want. Like this is going to be like create initial Git repo for the project as a string, like create Git repo.
Okay.
And then and there's two commands we're going to do here. Two attributes. One's called command, which is a string. And so we're going to type our bash in there. And then the next one is not _if. Not if, N-O-T. And then open curly. And it's kind of weird. This is a Ruby block that runs on the server. So you're going to do ::file .exists, capital F. We don't want it to collide with chef file.
Right.
And then this is going to be the path of that Git repo. So I would compute that as a variable on line 16. So the path is going to be just like var git app name.git. Okay, so then we're going to let's see. You need a directory resource, right? No, we already did that. So inside of there, we just need to cd into that path and then do git init bear. Or does that work?
You can just do this, right? Yeah. It made.
Did it make a directory or like foo.git? I think you want to call it .git.
So
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
yeah,
that'll be perfect.
So we could, you know,
foo.git. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we want.
So
okay, so now once you have that, you'll need whoever has SSH access to be in that group.
So to be
so
okay.
that it can, so that you can write files to that.
So we'll have to add like
You'll have to add your SSH key to the Git user.
Sophos, and then add Sophos to the Git group.
Sorry, no. You need your SSH key on the Git user.
Okay. We can actually just remove. That's probably fine. It's a little less. Just a second. So, sorry, say that again.
So you would need your SSH key to be added to the authorized keys of the Git user.
Right.
And that's only public key, so you can just do that.
Well, this is going to get run as root. Can we run this as Git?
Yes, I think you. Well, that's a good question. There's probably a way to do that. The group name or group ID that must be changed to. So you've got a group and a user.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so then real quick, while we're still in this file, we're going to want one template file. So it's going to be templates, defaults, and then add like a git deploy.sh.
Should I make a Git folder?
No, I think that the templates is like if you want to have a different template for OS 10 versus Ubuntu versus whatever.
Okay. So Git.
It's going to be like we can call it whatever we want, but it's going to be like a post update. You know what I mean? Let's rename it to post-update.erb. And then inside there, do shebang bin sh. And then just echo like deploying, and then like use ERB to like to specify what you're deploying. So that's going to be like name, @name. Okay. So that's where you would write all the specific stuff to like copy into that path. Oh, you don't want backticks because it'll like try and run that as a command.
Right.
So here would be like cd into the project, copy in stuff, restart processes, whatever.
Got it.
Like, and then.
Well, how is this going to know? Oh, we haven't set this up yet. Okay, carry on.
So then in the Git recipe.
Because we need to set the post deploy for this repo to be that thing, and somehow it needs to know that it's this app.
Right. So what we're going to do here is have do the template thing again.
Okay.
And the path name is going to be var git. Well, it's going to be path. We already have that as a variable. /hooks /post-update dash. Like not underscore. And so since it'll find this file automatically, we don't need to specify the source because we named it by convention. And so here we want the variables app, or rather name, right? You just had the @name, right?
Right.
So you could have say, oh, that'll work. Yeah.
Yeah. All this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you want the owner and group to be Git. And then the mode to be a string 0755. Right?
Should be 775.
Yeah. 775.
So then how is this going to know? Oh, because it's an ERB, so like it'll get written at that time. So we'll know like name here. Right. So we could set we can make a variable for like name equals like.
Yep.
Now we can use it in Bash.
Yep.
Excellent. Do you know how to string concat in Bash? I totally don't. But I think you can do like $name, right?
So hang on. You need $name like that. And then you need name equals to be like on the same line. There's no spaces. Otherwise it'll freak out. Yeah.
Any quotes?
If it has spaces, yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. So at this point, if you were to run this, it would at least set up that structure for you for that WWDC hike app.
Right. So how would I? This is like surprisingly easy. How would I? What's the best way to get my key into the user?
In a repeatable fashion. What I would do is on the user's recipe here, I would look for a user's data bag and loop over all the users in the data bag and add the key to that user. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of annoying.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to deal with the data bags another time.
Yeah. So like it's easier when you're not encrypted, which is fine for public keys.
Sure.
So what you would do is had a data bag called users, and inside there would be sofas.json. And instead of creating that user manually, you would create any user that's in that user's data bag.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Actually, I think this is done by, there's a user's repo. Or, sorry, user's cookbook. Yeah.
So we could just add
the user's cookbook. And then we need a data bag called users. And it's going to look something like this. Kind of like paste into your windows.
Oh.
So you need the name, you need a unique UID, which is really annoying. I don't know how to make that UID thing go away. And then SSH keys is an array.
Whatever. This is really angry about these things that matter. All right, I'll just.
Did you replace the public key?
How to. I realized earlier when I was screencasting to copy my public key as my public key, I could have. It's fine.
Yeah. PB.
Okay.
I'd be really amazed if anybody's still watching.
Indeed. Or if anyone watches the recorded one this far.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So is that it? How do I say which group this is in?
Good question. Let me see what I did for that.
Because I want Sophos to be pseudo-able.
Let's see, attributes, defaults. Defaults. Oh, man. Okay, users was my own cookbook.
Oh, good for you.
So, well, that means it's not public. Okay.
Well, it's fine.
I'm going to paste in some more stuff because you can just do this in a user's recipe, be its own cookbook. Crap, that didn't work. Sorry. Okay, so this one is basically how I set up all the users. So we already have a user's recipe, so just paste this at the bottom. And you can kind of follow along. So for each user in there, it looks for the DataBags users, pulls out all their keys, and then for each one, the reason why I did it that way is because it adds everybody's key to the deployer user.
Got it.
And adds everybody to the app group, which you called yours web.
Yeah, we can rename it to what app? I don't know.
And then I added ZSH for everybody. And then the template authorized keys, which I think you're going to need to see variables. Yeah, so there's a template for authorized keys, which looks like this. So authorized keys out of your ERB.
What is that?
A fully qualified domain name.
Hmm.
That's something that Ojai would put in there for you.
Cool. Okay, can I delete?
Get rid of the login banner. You can get rid of that. Get rid of the deployer thing. Let's see.
Where's the deployer thing?
Scroll down to the bottom. There's the template authorized keys, variables. If username is deployer, then all keys. Yeah, you can get rid of that and just do that user's SSH keys. Yeah. No. That's right. You need the map in there.
Okay.
Because the map has the SSH keys has the machine name.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
I think that's it.
So
do you have your DataBag users? Office, yeah.
Oh, this should be an array, right? Or no, they're all.
No. Yep. So you would like if you wanted to add another person, you would just add a new file.
Got it. So that's where your remove is.
Yep. So line 26, you don't need that, right? And then for the user, you want to add web to every person. So where it says group, yeah, change that to web.
I'll just change this to app.
Well, you had web elsewhere.
Here too. I'll just change it here. Still there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's good.
Let's see, where do you add them to admin already?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Cool.
All right, let's check that out and run it.
Oh, and we need to add these to Git as well.
Add what? Oh, the Git. Yes, you're right.
So how should we do that?
So we could just change to that template authorized keys thing.
Uh-huh.
We need one that has all the keys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So at the very top of this file, I think I specified all keys somewhere.
I don't think you sent that part. Oh, you did. JK.
Yeah, it's already in there in the users thing.
Okay.
So you could just like put this into the Git user. Owner would be Git.
Things. Nested in the Git user.
Line 9. Oh, yeah. No. Sorry, you can't do that. You're creating the user first, then you're
We'll
creating
put it
the
in group
template.
first, it's fine. Right?
Yes. And
Well,
then the owner needs to be Git. And the group needs to be Git. Yep.
Cool.
That
And
needs
this
to be
should
all
just
of
be all
these.
keys.
And it's already flattened, so you can get rid of the map there.
Cool. Well, there is a user's cookbook, apparently. We can just use
Probably does something similar to what I've done, but
I'll just use yours for now.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of having the vendored ones separate from your own, because I just have one giant list of cookbooks and some of them are mine, and I forgot that one was one I created.
Yeah, that is kind of nice. Minus the ignoring problem. I wish we could tell Burks to like not vendor this one.
Right.
That would like solve all our problems.
Yeah, so I think that the 2 repo thing is probably more more appropriate. Like you can use a cookbook to configure other cookbooks, but you can also just use node attributes to configure cookbooks.
Right.
So if you just had all the cookbooks that had all the generic stuff you need, then you just configure them in a different way, in a different repo. All right, let's see.
I built
Solo
something.
line 6. Was it the databags path thing? Yeah, give me that comma. And what was the error? Line 50. So we've got to do somewhere without an end, maybe. Yeah, we just need an end at the very bottom of the file.
Really?
Yeah, and outdent it.
Am I missing?
Oh, is that? Sorry, it looked like it was indented. What is the error again? Unexpected end of file?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got to do somewhere without an end. That's in for the unless, and that's in for the data bags. Scroll up a little bit.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I don't see anything there.
I don't actually need that stuff yet. I'll just turn it off for now.
Group admin exists. If you want to add this user to that group, use -G. Where was that?
Oh, I think there's already an admin. I don't know actually.
What was it trying to add to that? Well, like, look at the line, user add -s something. Bin bash admin.
Just trying to set the shell of admin. Maybe admin's like a special system user.
Yeah, but we ran that like 100 times already.
Well, I renamed it from Sophos a while back.
Oh, you did?
We don't need this at all. We'll just get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah, because you're gonna add yourself in a second.
We'll just do that. So here we make the web group. Great. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? When we created the get user, it didn't like create its home. So there's like the manage home true. Look at it on the user's cookbook. I forget what it's called. Supports manage home true. So that'll create that file. And I guess maybe we're gonna have to create our own .ssh directory. Yeah, copy line 26 for the get user.
Should we SSH keygen instead?
It's the same thing.
So execute. Can I do that? Or I guess it's separate, right?
Then you would have to do not if, so it'd be kind of weird.
All right.
I mean, you don't always want to do it. So I would just create the directory, like using that. And you've got it nested on accident.
I don't know why Sublime is being dumb today. Well, it didn't anything. Gosh.
Home get. It's not going to know what that tilde is. Oh, maybe that's why it broke in the first place.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Do you want to try that first? That's fine. We'll just do it.
Yeah, I don't know what it would have created. Path isn't there.
This is a string now. I copied and pasted that from your old stuff.
Yeah. Gotta be a string. I think that's because you have like 0700 isn't a thing if it's an integer.
Doesn't like that.
What was the error?
No mode for directory. Really? I could have sworn we did that before.
What? We did do that like a dozen times.
That should be fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. Do you?
What's the variable keys? All keys?
Right here.
That needs to be a hash. Yeah. That looks fine to me.
can imagine some server admin trying to learn this. It doesn't know Ruby, and it's just like frustrated beyond belief.
Yeah, I would be also. What did it say?
Thinks it's a block, I think.
No, I think it's does it know about new? Is it running new?
Oh, it might not be. You're right.
I think it's running old Ruby. Because like the Omnibus installer installs like the lowest common denominator thing.
Makes sense. Should I do that somewhere else?
No, but like line 28 has it. Did you add that? I think you changed it.
I did change that too.
It can be a symbol like with a hash rocket. You don't have to have.
Oh, you're right.
You don't have to have the outer one either.
Yeah. Need that one though.
Line 28.
Oh no, I don't. That's very well. Please tell me who you are. I don't want to. Oh, it.
That's. Did we commit properly?
Pushed F because I was like amending that commit. Maybe it's angry about that for some reason.
Yeah. Why is it asking you now? It wasn't asking you before.
I don't know.
You have local changes?
This is not the right thing.
Yeah, somehow you have a commit on that on the server. I think you put that in the root.
I did. That's what I get for amending a commit.
Holy cow, it worked. Now you've got a post receive or post update hook on server, and it says what it's supposed to.
So in theory, I can do.
Yeah. So try to.
IP.
You need to add a remote. So get. Do it from somewhere else though, right? So this is going to be get at. Yep.
Yeah, that didn't work.
That didn't work. Let's see. Look in SSH authorized keys. It should have worked. Let's see.
Maybe we need a keygen so we can actually. Maybe we need to turn get on with IP tables or something.
Nope. I don't think so. It's just SSH.
Yeah.
Why is it asking for your password? Can you just try like go back to the thing at SSH in as get?
Oh, sure. 1 second. Oh. I need to do
think that matters though. The only thing I could think of is if the permissions were too open, that it would like refuse to read them. So do ls-l in that file.
Oh, I can see it. I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, SSH's permissions are wide open. Look at that. It's
Folder.
the folder itself. That mode didn't work. Didn't you have mode 700 on the Git? Yeah, that's wrong. Look at line 10.
Should be
That is 0700. Yeah.
Okay. So if this should change the mode for us, right?
Yep.
Gosh. Yay! That's what it was.
Hey, check it out.
Okay, so now we can do
Git push server master.
the
That looks fine. Oh wait, no, sorry. It needs a full path, doesn't it?
Oh, you're right. This is like the user. No, that's the user. What is?
Yeah, so like I think if you were to put it in the home folder, if we had put it in home instead of var git, it would have been fine. So that's my fault.
You want to try that?
We'll just rename the remote for a second, just like remove it and add it again as var git wwc hike, and then you can change it to be cleaner later. But that way you could at least test it, make sure it works.
How do you like accept?
Escape, I think.
Oh,
No.
frustrating. Boom.
All right. So
I'll just move to
yeah, it works.
Sweet.
I'm just going to drop the mic. It only took 3 hours.
3 hours to.
But I think, yeah, we're off to a good start.
Yep. Well, I guess I need to figure out how to fix Ruby for the web user
Right.
and figure out.
There should be instructions on the RBE&B cookbook on how to do that.
Cool. Then encrypted data bags, and I think I'm set.
Yeah.
To have, like everything else working.
Yeah.
I guess what we could do, what we talked about earlier. Nope. This one. You could do, like Redis, right? And then like.
Yeah, and then all you could do is just like change database to like 0 or 1 or something.
So I can do that for every app if I
Yep.
wanted to.
Yep.
Sweet. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Like-
So then adding a new app to this server would just be like copying and pasting this and changing the values to git push and then run chef. And when to run chef is kind of like, again, up to you. On a server farm, like I had it running on the hour, every hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like push changes and then like try them out on one server. And if everything was good, I would just leave it alone. And eventually all the servers would get it.
Cool.
And I had like staging servers watching the master branch, and I had production servers watching the production branch. But you can also tag specific. You could say this node is only on this version of this cookbook, and so then you could use versioning, which is probably a better solution.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
So if, I guess for like all my stuff now, I should leave my like main cookbook or move my main or whatever it's called server cookbook to its own repo,
Yeah.
and then have like server be its like everything else with like the Burks file and the data bags and the node and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the way I think it should work. But honestly, if anybody from the chef community ever watches this, it would be good to get like a recent recommendation on how to manage that in a better way.
Because
I bet the first like 30, 45 minutes of this was like cringe inducing for somebody who's used Chef before.
yeah. Well, I guess in theory, like server is like agnostic to all my stuff and should just be a way to set up like Ruby and Nginx and Redis. And
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
So maybe you call it something else, like a Ruby server or something.
Sure.
There are a lot of cookbooks out there that do exactly this, but then you have to like study their cookbook, and I think like we learned a lot building our own.
Yeah, for sure. Well, now if something goes wrong, I at least like have sort of an idea where to troubleshoot it or where to configure it or whatever, you know.
Yep.
So,
well, cool. Well, thanks for everybody for sitting with us for that marathon.
let's see if there's anyone still watching. Stop. 0 viewers. All right.
All right, sweet.
Amazing.
All right, man. Well, I'm glad it was helpful. I wish it had been quicker to get you on my path, but
it's all good. Well, yeah, I mean, you had done solo before, and we struggled that for a bit, and then Burks was new too. So
yeah,
that was the first while, I think.
Yep. I agree. All right. Well, have a good afternoon.
Thanks.
To it.
See ya.